Alrighty, what is up guys, and welcome back to my channel. You're watching the daily series of Nwadei MMA, where I give you my unsolicited and maybe unwanted thoughts. More importantly, ask for your guys' thoughts, because you guys are the MMA community, and this community is way too fast moving for me to keep up with on my own, so I need you guys' help. If you are new to the channel, we give you fight reactions, fight news, breakdowns, predictions, all of the above. Everything to do with MMA, we do it here on Nwadei MMA. So if you are looking forward to daily MMA content, you are more than welcome to subscribe. And if you're feeling good today, why not hit the thumbs up button, huh? Takes a millisecond, helps me, helps you, help me. Yeah, however, with that being said, there's a lot going on in the MMA community today. A lot of drama, a lot of news. Kamaru, Usman, Khamzat, Chimaev, Suga, Sean O'Malley, Aljamain Sterlings, Dana White. Lots going on. Let's get to it. So first up, we're going to talk about Kamaru Usman maybe fighting Khamzat Chimaev. I mean, this fight kind of came out of nowhere. Kamaru Usman had a interview with Brett Okamoto. He said that he's still hungry, he's still gunning for that belt, he's almost gunning for the next title shot. He's trying to fight Khamzat Chimaev, the hottest star out right now. Maybe the hottest star out right now. We don't know anymore because he hasn't fought in how long now? Khamzat Chimaev's last fight was against Kevin Holland. We all know he missed weight for that. He was supposed to fight Nate Diaz. Because he missed weight, he ended up fighting Kevin Holland. And now the UFC doesn't really trust him. His coaches wanted him to move up, and there's been a very long hiatus in between these fights. At first he wasn't fighting because of Ramadan, and now he's just almost waiting for that Abu Dhabi card, maybe to rehydrate a little bit more. We know that fighters are able to rehydrate when it takes place in Abu Dhabi because they have 36 hours until their fight after weigh-ins instead of 24 hours. So we're gonna see a lot of bigger fighters take place in that Abu Dhabi card, but I feel like the majority of us feel like we're being starved. I mean, Khamzat Chimaev was fighting so frequently and so often, and his fights were so exciting that the UFC just doesn't feel the same without him fighting, right? It doesn't feel as big. So we know that he's going to be fighting on that Abu Dhabi card most likely. Originally it was rumored to be Paulo Costa, and it still might be, because he still might be moving up to 185. But where is this Kamaru Usman matchup fitting in here? Because he's trying to move up to 185. Kamaru Usman is trying to stay at 170, but said he would do a catch weight. Dana said hell nah. He doesn't like those kind of things. He says they make no sense. I think weight cutting in general makes no sense. Implement hydration tactics or clauses or hydration testing even, and I think would have a lot better of a product. But excuse me trying to change the UFC for this one matchup. Kamaru Usman and Khamzat Chimaev, if that fight does happen, how does that play out? I mean, we saw Khamzat against a guy who has a really good ground game in Gilbert Burns, and decent takedown defense as well. Gilbert Burns stopped the majority of his takedowns. When he did get taken down, he immediately put Khamzat in trouble. Khamzat then stopped trying to take him down, and I feel like it would be the same kind of thing against Kamaru Usman, except he would have a harder time taking Kamaru down, and that Kamaru is not as dangerous off of his back as Gilbert Burns. I mean, nowhere near as dangerous, but I think that it would be a battle of two wrestlers, similar to what we saw with Colby and Kamaru Usman, although Khamzat brings a bigger pace than Colby. Colby might be able to have the cardio to go 5 rounds with throwing a bunch of pitter-patter strikes and stuff like that, but Khamzat throws bombs. He's trying to finish fights, he's trying to knock people out, and he will get tired, but he doesn't care if he gets tired because he thinks he could push through it more than anyone else, right? So how does that fight go? Two of the strongest minds in the welterweight division. One guy who's relentless with attack, and another guy who is relentless with his cardio, his wrestling tactics, the way he uses his wrestling, and Kamaru Usman, ever-evolving stand-up game. How does this one go? Well, I think early thoughts, early predictions, it's a very hard fight to choose because it's almost like a changing of the guard. But when does Kamaru Usman really ever fail you, right? The reach is going to be almost identical. Wrestling is going to be nearly identical. The cardio is going to be nearly identical. If not, Usman might have more cardio than him training at altitude. That's going to be a very interesting fight, and I think that Kamaru Usman might be derailing the hype train of Khamzat Chimaev. So I don't know if Khamzat is going to take that fight. I don't know if Khamzat is going to be willing to go down to 170 and risk that chin held against a guy like Kamaru Usman, who could punch your lights out. A guy, Kamaru Usman, who's not going to get tired. You're cutting all that weight. You might get tired before him. You get another situation like that Gilbert Burns situation, and you might not be going the distance, because it will be a 5-round fight, whatever they do. Now, if this fight happens at middleweight, that brings a whole new set of challenges, because then Kamaru Usman, that's his first fight at middleweight. Khamzat's gonna be in probably his favorite weight class, and that has a whole new set of stakes added to it. However, Khamzat hasn't just been waiting around, really. He's been training. And you know who he's been training with? Jalin Turner, the Tarantula. He's been training over there. Khamzat, he's known to, move around a little bit. His main gym's in Sweden, of course, at All Star. But he's trained in Thailand. He's now training with Jalin Turner. I don't know where they're out of, but I know that he's training with a very high-level coach in Aussie MMA, a high-level wrestler, a guy who's only going to complement his game. And then training with a long guy like the Tarantula is only going to complement his striking. I'm sure they're picking each other's brains. They've had multiple pictures on Instagram together, and yeah, that's pretty exciting and a little scary for a Usman fan and myself. So I think Usman's gonna be able to deal with it. I think he's gonna be able to handle it. But yeah, shit. Yeah, I don't know. What do y'all think about that? However, Kamaru Usman is probably not going to go up to middleweight. I don't know if this fight is actually going to happen. I think that the Paulo Costa fight is more likely to happen. However, he's fighting Ikram Aliskerov, a fight that they're trying to set up with Khamzat Chimaev. Either of those fighters, whoever wins, is probably going to fight Khamzat. That's my most likely scenario for what's going to happen. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I always like to hear you guys' opinions as this video goes along, and I like to try and stay in these type of conversations and make content around your guys' thoughts. And with that, if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and maybe recommend it to some of your friends, huh? We're all trying to grow out here, huh? But another scenario and some more drama that's going on is Dana White and Aljamain Sterlings. What's going on with them? Huh? Aren't they supposed to be business partners? Once you're a champion and you're actually negotiating with the UFC, aren't you supposed to have some kind of pull? Should you really be fighting 1, 2, 3 months after your last fight, even though you're dealing with injuries, even though you've been fighting with injuries and you haven't had a chance to get them healed up? I mean, why is Dana so eager to get that belt off of Aljamain Sterlings? Well, I'll tell you why. There is a massive star named Sean O'Malley who is right there for a title shot. He is getting more and more inactive as he reaches the top. He's fought only once in the calendar year, and Dana doesn't like inactivity because it leads to ring rust and whatnot. And why would you want to stall out one of the most exciting fighters in the game in Sugar Sean O'Malley, right? So I think that's one of the reasons why Aljamain's being rushed. Two, I think that Dana doesn't necessarily resonate with him. He doesn't really get finishes. If he does get finishes, it's usually by submission. If he can't get the submission, he's willing to just hold that position like he did against Petr Yan. His mindset's a little bit weak. I mean, he'll win the first 3 rounds and then lose the last 2 on purpose and thinks that is gonna just last forever. He takes advantage of every rule in the book. He stays on all fours, expecting not to eat a knee to the head, which he should be expecting that because it is against the rules. This is not one championship, even though I think their rule set is better. But yeah, these are just some of the reasons why a common fan or Dana White might not like Aljamain Sterlings. And then he talks about money. Dana hates this. He'll pay people. He'll give people bonuses and not tell anyone about it. He likes to pay people under the table as well. Good for taxes. But at the same time, he hates when people beg for things that maybe they didn't earn, or maybe he doesn't feel like they're entitled to. There's some situations where Dana is like, yeah, we'll give him whatever he wants and things like that. And Francis, they're willing to pay him, because he's a big guy, a big heavyweight, a big draw, baddest man on the planet, right? But Aljamain Sterlings, one of the smaller guys, a guy who's just now starting to get some of the respect that maybe he's been deserving. I think he should be compensated more for this quick turnaround, but I think he would have been compensated more had he just said yes. and didn't try to bring money into it. Him saying if they pay me, or money talks, or I'm a prize fighter, and things like that. I have nothing against Aljamain. I like the little gimmick. I like how a lot of people dislike him and are hating on everything he kind of does, and I like that he keeps winning. I do wish he would fight a little bit more instead of playing that point game and that like just counting the scoreboards as he's going. But hey, to each their own, right? Everyone has their own fighting style. Now, as far as if that fight happens, well, we got to see if Aljamain's healthy. If he's not healthy, they're probably going to do an interim title shot. Ridiculous, but they probably will. And it might just be Henry Cejudo who is clamoring for that title shot. He just dropped a video today about wanting that title shot. He wants to fight Sean O'Malley anyway. Sean wants to fight him. That's a fight that really could happen. It's very likely that that could happen, especially if Aljamain decides to get surgery or to just rest his body, which I think he should. Who cares if there's an interim belt on the line? Either way, it'll be a bigger fight for you, just because whoever wins it, whether it's a rematch with Cejudo, that's bigger. Whether it's a fight with Sean O'Malley, that's huge, and you get time to rest your body. So fuck it, let them do an interim. If I'm Aljamain, let them do an interim. Don't rush me back. I'll get paid whatever I get paid after I beat these dudes' asses and get my cut of the pay-per-view. I'm gonna be getting paid even more, and then he goes up and fights Volk. That sounds cool to me, right? But I don't know if Aljamain thinks like that. I feel like he doesn't want to miss out on whatever opportunities might align on that Boston card, because it is supposed to be stacked. He could be getting a huge check as far as pay-per-views are concerned, so I don't know if he wants to miss out on that. Plus, he feels like Sean O'Malley isn't an easy fight, but that is a very winnable fight for him. So yeah, I think Aljamain is probably gonna take the fight, but again, you never know, right? What do you guys think is gonna happen? Which fight would y'all rather want to see? That's really what I want y'all to answer in these comments. Do y'all want to see Merab versus Cejudo? Y'all want to see Cejudo versus Sean? Do y'all want to see a rematch between Aljo and Cejudo? Do y'all want to see Aljo versus Sean O'Malley next? What is the biggest fight in the bantamweight division? Because that's a stacked division, boy, I tell you. And also, what the hell is going on with Cory Sandhagen? He was said to be fighting Merab Dvalishvili, and then Dvalishvili was supposed to be fighting Cejudo. Then he broke his hand, so now Cory is scheduled to be fighting Umar. Or he's not scheduled to fight him. They were in talks to fight Umar Nurmagomedov. I think if Cory wins his next fight, he's getting a title shot. If I was Cory, that's what I'd be pushing for, and that's what should happen. That's what he is deserving of. I mean, to beat Song Yadong and then Chito Vera, he should already be getting a title shot, in my opinion. But we understand his streak may not be big enough for Dana or whatever. So, okay, go beat a Nurmagomedov. That'll do it for you. But guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. There's a lot going on in the MMA community. I'm bringing you daily MMA content. If you like daily MMA content, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you do choose to do so and subscribe, hit that bell icon, because we upload at all times throughout the day, daily, with MMA content and in-depth fight analysis. As always, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm out. Peace.